Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
The hulking teenager who battered a Florida teaching assistant unconscious for taking his toy away has apologized after being sentenced to 5 years in prison. Brendan Deppa, then 17, left Joan Natick, 59, with concussion, hearing loss and 5 broken ribs in a prolonged attack at Palm Coast's Matanzas High School in February last year. Judge Terrence Perkins said he had not heard a word of remorse from the 270-pound teen as he jailed him last week. But Deppa's current tutor has produced an apology he says the autistic student wrote while in custody. "I made a mistake, one I will never let happen again, and I am sorry," it reads. The 6 feet 6 inches pupil became enraged when Natick asked a teacher to confiscate the Nintendo Switch Deppa had been playing with. He called her a bitch and a whore when he learned of her request, spitting at her before following her out of a classroom and launching his brutal attack. Surveillance footage recorded Natick completely limp on the floor after Deppa knocked her unconscious, but the enraged student punched her in the head and back another 15 times before letting up. Natick, a mother of 2, had called for her teenaged attacker to be locked up for the maximum sentence of 30 years. "Brendan Deppa's actions that day has caused me to lose a job that I had for almost 19 years, lose my financial security, lose my health insurance," she told the court. In his note, Deppa wrote, "I am extremely sorry for injuring Miss Jones so severely, and I am happy to see the injuries I inflicted did not leave any permanent scars or bruises." But Natick said she is unlikely ever to fully recover from the beating. "Every day is a challenge," she said. "I have lived every day since with the repercussions of it, the assault of it, whether it be hearing loss that I have, vision loss, headaches." But the decision from Judge Terrence Perkins to give Deppa 25 years less than that could have to do with the exculpatory testimony that came from his mother and arguments from his defense team. Leanne Deppa, his adoptive mother, said she had warned the school about her son's laundry list of triggers. According to her, electronics was his biggest trigger. "I had told the school that being hungry was a trigger, that noise was a trigger, that being told no was a trigger, that being corrected in front of other people was a trigger, and electronics was a huge trigger," she said on the stand. Lawyers for Deppa have filed a separate lawsuit against the school district for negligence, describing him as a ticking time bomb. The letter, which tutor Jean Lopez shared with News Nation's Ashley Banfield, claims that "what I did should not define who I am. I deeply regret allowing my emotions to get the best of me and letting things happen the way that they did," he continues. "In a choice between letting this incident destroy, define, or strengthen me, I have chosen to let it strengthen me. During my incarceration, I have learned coping skills to ensure something like this never happens again. I have grown and matured in ways otherwise impossible, making me not happy I have been incarcerated, but nonetheless grateful." Pictures released after the beatdown show gashes on the aide's cheek, bruising around the eyes, one bloodshot eye, a dent in her nose and a tear at the back of her ear. Natick said the worst injuries are internal and that the attack deeply affected her cognitive functions. "Unfortunately, a lot of my injuries that are not visible I'm going to have for the rest of my life," she said. Deppa's attorneys tried to turn it around on her, claiming that Natick failed to address the autistic boy's unique needs and wasn't properly trained to handle him. Kurt Tiefk, one of Deppa's lawyers, reportedly referred back to prior testimony that suggested the assault was a manifestation of his disability. "It's not his fault," Tiefk said. Judge Perkins didn't buy it, citing the brutality captured in the video and adding that Deppa's attack on Natick was not an isolated incident. "It captures the senseless, extreme violence in a very troubling way," Perkins said, commenting on the video. In his sentencing, Perkins also cited testimony from a state witness, a psychologist, who said Deppa knew what he did was wrong. Deppa's mother pleaded with the judge to let her son serve house arrest. "I knew Brendan and I knew his triggers and I knew his